I think we'd be remiss being a wrestling podcast not to talk about the Raja Jackson situation that occurred over the weekend. Look, if you haven't heard about it, which would be strange, I think, at this point, especially if you follow pro wrestling, but nonetheless, if you haven't heard exactly what happened, Raja Jackson is the son of former MMA legend Rampage Jackson, and he being Raja went to an indie show at the Knox Pro wrestling organization, which is Rikishi's NOAE family training school / promotion. So he went to that show and was hanging around backstage. And look, the gist of it is during a match, Raja, essentially jumped into the ring, picked up a wrestler named Syko Stu, and lifted him high up and dropped him backwards. It was you would. In wrestling terminology, I guess you'd say, if we're talking about wrestling moves, what he did was a back suplex, essentially. But he lifted him so high and offered no protection at all as he was dropping him. He drove Syko Stu down onto the mat. Syko Stu's head literally bounced off the mat. Was actually knocked out at that point, and then mounts him and starts beating the living hell out of this pro wrestler. And I'm not trying to do this in a wrestling, I'm in on it type of way. No, this was a legitimate pounding that he was delivering to Syko Stu, to the point that Syko Stu was bleeding, lost teeth. They even said that in the ring, they were saying that he had flatlined. He completely lost consciousness. They couldn't wake him up, and they said that he had flatlined. And I, watched the video, and I think it's one of the hardest things. It's one of the hardest things you could see, because you're literally watching a man pummeling a guy potentially to his death. Before people ran in to take him off, to drag him off, I should say, of Syko Stu, because he was putting up a fight, Raja was, to not be removed from Syko Stu. He had delivered about 27 punches to this man's head. Not like, couple of body shots. 27 punches to this man's skull while he had already been knocked out and could not protect himself. And finally, when some wrestlers come in to pull this maniac off of Syko Stu, he's still trying to break free to go and continue to beat him up some more. And that's the situation that happened. And it's a grotesque situation. It's very hard to watch. We are going to be watching some clips here. I've got some stuff lined up, but I'm telling you straight off the bat, we're not watching the beatdown. Yes, because I think somewhere it probably, most likely, I should say, it most likely would be in defiance of YouTube's TOS, and I don't want to screw with that. But even whether or not it's against TOS or not to show it, I don't want to show it, because it's brutal and disgusting. Like, it is someone being pummeled literally within an inch of their life. And Raja, here's the thing. Now, everyone is like, oh, well, it was an angle. What happened exactly? And we're all wondering. Here's the thing. This guy, Raja Jackson, turns out he's an IRL streamer. Now, for those of you who, might not be in the know as to what an IRL streamer is. IRL means in real life. And even if you've never watched an IRL stream, you've probably seen them if you hang around the internet. It's these people who walk around like in their towns, or travel or whatever, and they have, a streaming apparatus with them. They have their phones or a little camera or whatever the fuck, and they walk around and they stream their entire day, interacting with people, sitting down, having lunch, all that shit. And overall, my experience with IRL streamers and watching IRL streams is it's boring as hell until something absolutely unhinged happens. So most of these people are looking to do absolutely unhinged shit. So he's doing this. He's an IRL streamer on Kick, which is another streaming platform, which doesn't frankly really have the best overall reputation. And I've thought about streaming there for a while. It's an odd place. Essentially like the basic streamers who are there are all streamers who have been banned from YouTube or Twitch, for instance, and go over there to Kick. And it's a growing platform. It's not one of the biggest platforms, but it is growing, particularly because of the size of the streamers that are currently there, bringing in more and more viewers. And the rules are looser, so you can do stuff that you probably couldn't get away with, on Twitch or YouTube, for instance. So he's going on, he being Raja, he's going around on his stream, and he's saying, actually, you can hear him talking, right? While he's at ringside, because he's streaming. He's live streaming the fact that he's at the match. So you can see the match, but you can hear him talking. He's right there. He's talking. He's got his phone in his hand. He's looking at his live chat, and he's saying, as he's sitting there, that he is going to hurt Syko Stu, right? He says, they told me to do this, like get a receipt. We're all going to get into these details, but you hear him saying, they told me backstage to go get a receipt, that they'd set up this angle, but I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it to hurt this man. And he says this on stream, that he was disregarding whatever was planned, and he was going to take this into his own hands. I think, chat, help me out here, because I'm not a lawyer. Pretty sure, I'm pretty sure none of you are either, but that sounds like aggravated assault to me. If you're planning to go beat up someone, again, I may be completely off base, but it seems to me that this is a case of aggravated assault at the very least, like at its bare minimum. So let's say we go back. In a mission for attempted murder, sure. But let's say we take a look here. Why don't we go back here? Like I said, I've got some clips. I've got some timestamps lined up here, and try to work through exactly what happened, the sequence of events that led El Hijo de Rampage Jackson to completely lose his mind on this indie wrestler, okay? Syko Stu, that you have not heard of until this day today. As we mentioned in this clip here, what we are going to see is Raja Jackson hanging out. And remember, this guy is an MMA fighter, right? But he is not a worker. He's not a pro wrestler. And he's hanging around in the back, in the, locker room area. There's cars that sit outside parking lot. But he's hanging out with the talent in the back, right? So let's give this a quick listen here.
Oh, where's the real McKill at? Where's he at?
You don't need to worry about him. You need to be worried about Syko Stu.
Syko Stu?
What, you don't know me?
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, I think that's a little.
Oh, you don't sell it?
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the
Okay. So in this scene, if we recap what we saw here, we've got Syko Stu who's in Raja's face, and he's basically telling him, what, you don't know who I am? I'm Syko Stu. Don't worry about these other guys, you have to worry about me. And he grabs a beer can. I'm assuming it's beer. Could be, anyway, a can of drink. And he cracks it across Raja's head. Now, I don't know if this was a working can. I don't know if this was, I don't know why it'd be just hanging around next to the barbecue. Probably not. But this was an ill-advised decision on the part of Syko Stu, where you have someone backstage that you don't know who it is. I think it's an ill-advised decision to sort of turn around and crack a beer can across his head. Now, of course, Raja was not expecting this and, steps up. He's ready to go. And you could hear as, we'll continue the clip just a little bit, but you can hear there's someone off camera saying, he's not a worker, he's not a worker, he's not a worker. Basically telling Stu, you fucked up, brother. You thought this guy was a worker. No, this guy's a dude. He's jacked, but he's just a guy. He's not in the business. He doesn't know what's going on here. Okay? So here, let's just listen for a couple of more seconds here.
fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
You don't sell it?
Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
See, immediately, like Syko Stu is trying to, he's doing the wrestling thing to keep things cool. Like he grabs him by the neck and, to sort of like, hey buddy, we're cool. But Raj is not a worker. Raj is not a worker. So he has no idea what's going on. He's like, this son of a bitch just cracked a can of beer across my head. And you've got, I think this is an Anoa'i guy. I think this is one of the Anoa'is. I don't know exactly who they are. And you see, he's got his hand on his arm. He's trying to de-escalate the situation. Guy with the cowboy hat. I can't, what's his name again? I have his name somewhere here. His name is AJ Mana. He's trying to de-escalate this as well, because they all see that there's something going on here, that there's something wrong. Okay? So essentially, the read here that we should all have in this situation, and even later on, Stu's going to explain it, that this is how he saw it. Stu saw a guy from the outside coming into the locker room, so he starts to kayfabe. I'm Syko Stu. What do you mean you don't know who I am? And he's seeing this dude walking around, jacked, talking to the wrestlers, having a camera following him around. So he's like, oh, this guy's a worker too. Like all of this shit is spinning in his head. And he's like, why don't I give this guy a little content, this wrestler a little content for his reel, for his wrestler reel. Blam! And then maybe he figured, they'd lock up, maybe the guy, they'd start throwing, they'd start throwing forearms at each other and have a little brawl in the back, create a little moment, right? I don't know how deep it went. But you can absolutely understand Syko Stu going, this guy, this is a work. This guy's working right now. You can absolutely see that. But admittedly, he went a little far, grabbing the can and striking Raja across the head with it. Admittedly. bad move. So we'll fast forward a little bit here. Now in this one here, we're going to have Syko Stu, who's going to come and apologize to Raja. He's going to walk up to him and he's going to extend his hand and he's going to apologize. Okay?
Now I can make it something. Because I'm going to have you run in and fuck that motherfucker up in the mat. You ready for that?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell,
Talk to the president.
yeah. If you can.
And you see, they're already, even before that, in this situation here, they're already setting this up to say, hey, why don't you guys settle it in the ring? We could do a little angle, right? Trying to smooth this off. Might as well do a little angle here.
If you can do that for me, I'll be cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Hell yeah.
I'm going to have him run in on your shit in your match. To fucking seal that.
Yeah. Hey,
And you see,
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's going to all work
yeah,
out, dude.
yeah. As long as I can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all going to work out.
All right, bet.
You know what I'm saying?
here's what's critical, I think, at this point, is that you've got Stu coming over to apologize, shakes his hand, said, I'm sorry, man. I hope we're all good. Didn't mean to do it. And Raja is there going, yeah, no, seriously, man, we're good. If we do the little angle, it'll be great. Like everything is being de-escalated at this point. No one is suspecting anything else. We're just going to have ourselves a nice little work here.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
We good.
I got you.
What's your name again?
Raja.
What's that?
Raja.
Raja? Joe, man. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Hey, set it up where who's going to come in and put him
Yeah,
down.
I'm straight. No, you good, bro. You good. You straight.
And you see, he himself, he's going, I'm sorry. You're good. Everyone's good. You know, we're not doing anything psychotic here.
I don't know.
There's no indication here. And look, he's going to walk past Stu, and Stu is going to apologize again.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were worker.
See? Exactly what we were talking about. He says, I thought you were a worker. You were there with the camera. You know.
We're going to work it out where he's going to come out on your match. I know you keep.
And he's going to come out in your match, Oos. That's where we're at right now. That's how this settled. This how this all came together. This is the crux of the problem. So they set up an angle. In this timestamp here, we're going to see that Raja Jackson clearly understands what's going on. And he knows what's coming next. Okay? That everything that's been agreed upon.
And the motherfucker hit me with a can, thought I was a pro wrestler and shit because I have a camera and stuff. And he's a little like fucked up, little drunk or something.
You see, he's being so chill right now. He's like, you know, hit me with the can, thought I was a wrestler because of the camera. See, it's all coming together. And he's like, he's a little fucked up. He's a little drunk. All right. You know, so circumstances, right?
And he's a little like fucked up, little drunk or something. And shit pissed me off. And I'm gonna have to get him back. They said I can go in the ring and get his ass. I don't even know what I'm gonna do to him now.
So you see, they're like, they said I could go to the ring and get his ass. So I don't even know what I'm gonna do to him. But they're offering this as a make good. The next timestamp we're gonna have here, the cowboy dude AJ Mana is going to. He's going to start talking about receipts.
Yeah, another thing is, even when we are working like that, you don't fucking, you know
That's
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
saying.
He doesn't
So,
call him like that.
you don't. He's a fucking idiot. Hey. So when you run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro.
Give him his receipt. Tag him, bro. You know what's insane about this? Do you know what's truly insane about this little bit that's happening right before our eyes here? Is that he, you know, Cowboy Mana, AJ Mana, he's telling an MMA fighter, a guy who is, again, not a worker. He's telling him, go out there, get your receipt, brother. Tag him. He was a stupid idiot. This is how we settle things. Go get him, Oos. Now, If Raja Jackson was a worker, had actually done anything in the business, he'd probably understand that, a receipt is, you stiff a guy. You stiff a guy, right? Yeah. We have seen, if you've watched wrestling for any period of time, unless it's only the clean and saturated NXT, you have seen multiple times in which receipts have been delivered in the ring. Some guy gets a little too snug. Whoops, little mistake. Well, then the other guy gets a free shot, potatoes him back kind of thing. It's not uncommon, but everyone understands is you get the receipt and you move along because you got a show to put on, right? So everyone's even Steven. You give, you take, but they are telling this to a guy who has MMA, who is in MMA, who is not a worker, a pro wrestling worker. They're telling him, go get your receipt. That is insane. No one telling him. Okay, so a receipt in pro wrestling goes like this. So you can go like, you stiff them, you give them like a nice, one of your working punches, you don't pull it. You go all the way in, and there you go, we're done. Anything more is a little too much. This guy is egging him on. But you know who else is egging him on? His fucking chat. His live chat is egging him on. And he at the same time is also like egging on, letting his chat egg him on too. Look at this next timestamp, this next clip. This is Raja Jackson as he is sitting ringside, sort of waiting for his spot.
I ain't really sub farming, but 50 subs, knock him out. 50 subs.
Did you hear that correctly? I can repeat it because I can speak moron. I ain't really sub farming, but 50 subs and I'll knock him out. 50 subs. So you give this guy 50 subscriptions and he will hit the ring and will knock the other guy out. And he's in his phone. He has his phone. He's looking at his chat. And I can imagine the type of degenerates that are currently in the chat gassing this dude up to go and actually hurt Syko Stu. I was going to say Syko Sid. I caught myself. You can absolutely imagine that he's sitting there with his fucking phone in his hand and he's seeing all of these losers on Kick, egging him on, calling him names, calling him a bitch, whatever. And he's taking it personal now. Now it's like, oh shit, they're gassing him up. He's like, oof, oof. 50 subs, that'll knock him out. It's starting to traverse his mind now that he doesn't have to play nice, that he really doesn't have to play nice. And then it all comes around in this next clip where the mask is completely off.
I'm not gonna fake it. Exactly. They don't want me. They don't want me in there for real because I'm not gonna fake it. Watch.
I mean, you could not have anything more clear cut with with motivation to just with a clear intent to come in and attack a guy and hurt him for real. So he's sitting there, I swear to God, because from this chat gassed him up. They started calling him all sorts of names. He's a prideful little dude. Didn't like the names that the keyboarders were calling him. So it was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to hurt him. It's insane. So shortly after this, he goes after Stu, does what he does like we talked about at the start of this segment. And again, I'm not playing that. I'm not playing that at all. But then what does he do? Then what does he do? He hits the bricks. He gets the hell out of Dodge. He makes his way outside as soon as he's done, and he fucks off. Now, in this clip that we are going to see here, we are going to see him have a little rage fit. We're going to see him have a little tantrum, a little justification. We're going to see just where his mind went.
Tired of motherfuckers playing with me, bro. Real shit. One of them was a bitch and fucking bit me. I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'ma stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
Who was calling him a bitch? Who was thinking that he was playing? To whom did he think he had to stick up for himself? Everything was settled, everything was chill, everything was cool until he snapped, lost his fucking mind, and beat a man almost to death, literally almost to death. Wherein my theory that his live chat composed of degenerates were egging him on, were gassing him up. It must have been the people in the chat calling him a bitch for doing this, for taking it, telling him that he has to stand up for himself. You know, all of these losers hanging out in his stream, undeniable. And here's the thing. If he is so easily manipulated by a live chat on his live stream, this man is a liability. And you can see how he's talking as well. Huffing and, you know, his voice cracking because he's so full of rage. And you can tell he's huffing. He's mad as hell. This guy is mentally, he's not in the right place. This guy is fucking dangerous. This man is dangerous. Complete disregard for another man's life. After, sure, an ill-advised move, but after which everyone apologized, everyone shook hands, everyone came together and was like, oh, we should do this and whatnot. Oh, we'll get you into the ring and that'll... And everyone was cool with it. Then this guy decides that no, he's losing it and he's moving on. And then we'll show a little bit of this, continue this clip here. He's walking away and we've got wrestlers from the promotion who are coming out challenging him to fight them, probably in order to keep him around. So because they probably called the authorities and they wanted him to stay. They probably wanted him to stick around before, until the cops came so that they could have a nice talk with him. Listen to this.
Come on, man. We're leaving, man. We're walking away, bro. Let's not take it serious. Let's go. Come on, Roger. Let's go. Let's go, Roger. Let's go. Roger, let's go.
You can see, like, his camera dude, he knows what's up here, and he has to get his guy out of there. He knows what's going on. The camera guy is the smartest guy in this duo here, where he's like, no. These guys are egging you to come on. It's like, no, we're just walking away. We're going. Because he knows if he sticks around, when the cops show up, he is in fucking trouble. He's even got fucking blood stains on his shirt. You could end up with, even if you had the absolute worst police officers of all time showing up, even they could understand what the fuck happened here.
Roger, I'm telling you, let's go. You listen to me. Listen to me, Roger. You need to listen to me right now, Roger. Let's go.
I don't give a fuck. You guys trying to jump me and shit?
Let's go.
You ain't gonna do shit to me, bro.
Let's go,
you can't do shit to me. You can't fuck with me, bro.
Let's go.
You can't fuck with me.
Come on, let's go.
You see? That's exactly what happened. They were trying to egg him to stay. There's probably a couple of guys who were ready to pounce on him, whatever it took, just to make sure that this doesn't happen, that he doesn't flee the scene, essentially. Unreal. And then the cherry on top of all of this is finally he's away. He's out of the radius. I think he and his guy drove off a bit. Then they pulled over. And he took a call.
Hello?
Hey, where the hell you at? I told you to double leg that motherfucker and start welding him. I just saw the video.
Don't know if you heard that correctly, but you know, it's like you just beat a guy up and I just saw the video. Meanwhile, I'm not sure who's calling here. I'm not sure who it is, but you can hear Raja. Do you hear his breathing? Do you hear him breathe?
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
He's in the ring. He fucking flatlined, bro. What kind of illuminated response here should Raja have? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh man, that is awful. Oh Christ, you know? Or even like collapsing onto himself saying, oh motherfucker, I killed a man.
My bad.
Didn't have to do all that shit. I understand.
My bad is his response. After snorting, after snorting air through his nostrils repeatedly, my bad is his response. That is bonker shit. This guy, this event, this whole thing that occurred is completely insane. This dude is a liability. He's a liability. I don't think he's well. And what he did was reprehensible on every level. On every fucking level. Losing his shit like he did to beat a man into a coma, essentially, into unconsciousness, and continuing to wail on him. That's not normal behavior. That's not normal. I don't know if you know this. That's not normal. Look, again, I am not a police officer. I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, I'm not an. Yeah, I don't have any legal training, but I feel like between all of the admissions that happened on stream here, you see everything play out in real time. And I just showed the clips. There's nothing edited here. I just showed the clips because this video is like what? It's like 12 minutes long. You see the whole thing. So it's like you saw how everything went down. It's right there before your eyes. I think there's grounds to arrest and charge this guy with at the very least aggravated assault. Attempted murder might even be up there because he was plotting on doing this. He was planning. You saw this guy's brain go from, okay, everything's cool to, no, I'm going to kill this guy. Kill is not exactly the word, but I'm going to completely ruin this guy. I'm going to hurt him. There's intent. There's motive. There's planning. But I can absolutely see his live chat going up and down on Kick, right? Just going up and down, calling him all sorts of names and egging him on to do something awful. And he did. He did. So now, in the aftermath of this, Syko Stu was taken to the hospital where he was taken to intensive care, and they tried to get everything, just get him to wake up, stabilize him, make sure the guy doesn't fucking die. Rampage put out a statement. I want to read it. Reading it off of the Wrestling Observer here, Figure 4 Online website. I want to clear up the misinformation about my son Raja. I've been confirmed that the wrestler Stuart Smith, aka Syko Stu, is awake and stable. Raja was unexpectedly hit in the side of the head by him moments before Smith's match. Raja was told that he could get his payback in the ring. I thought it was a part of the show. Everyone did. It was bad judgment and a work that went wrong. Raja is an MMA fighter, not a pro wrestler, and had no business involved in an event like this. I don't condone my son's actions at all. He suffered a concussion from sparring only days ago and had no business doing anything remotely close to physical contact. As a father, I'm deeply concerned with his health and the well-being of Mr. Smith. That being said, I'm very upset that any of this happened, but my main concern now is that Mr. Smith will make a speedy recovery on behalf. I apologize on his behalf and to Kick for the situation. What misinformation does Rampage feel he has to clear up here? Everything that Rampage talks about, we've just watched. There's no misinformation. It's all shit that we just saw happen. And, you know, you can argue that Rampage is doing the right thing here, where he's like, my son fucked up. He fucked up massively. And this should not have happened. And right now, my concern is the health of my son. I don't know. Because he got a concussion a couple of days ago. Boo fucking who? At this point. And the well-being of Mr. Smith, of Syko Stu. So look, he could have decided to apologize or be apologetic on behalf of his son, but he didn't. He just he came out and buried him. He said he shouldn't have done it. He said, I shouldn't have done, my kid should not have done this. He shouldn't have been involved in anything physical. All of this was bad. Bad. And he apologizes to Kick because, yes, this is fucking getting Kick into some more hot water. According to TMZ, in this other article from the Figure 4 Online, The Observer, according to TMZ, cops were called to the Knox Pro event that took place near Los Angeles and took a police report after Raja Jackson, MMA fighter and son of Rampage Jackson, assaulted a wrestler in a planned angle that turned into a violent assault. As of now, the incident is being investigated. During the event, which was live streamed on Kick, Syko Stu, Stuart Smith, was taken down by Jackson. This appeared to knock out Stu cold. Despite this, Jackson continued to pummel and bloody Stu with punch after unprotected punch until others were able to pull him off. Douglas Malo, a wrestler who attempted to intervene during the assault, told USA Today that Smith was awake and talking on Sunday, but had broken bones in his face and lost a lot of teeth. He was choking on his own blood and teeth, Malo said. Somebody reminded me there's kids and then I was like, that there was somebody reminded me there's kids there, and I was like, oh my God. So the cops did get a report, and they probably have, everything in hand. They probably got everything all set up here. In the meantime, here's something you don't see every day. California's Knox Pro removed their WWE ID affiliation from their social media branding and headers this afternoon. It would appear WWE has severed ties with the promotion and academy as part of the fallout of the Raja Jackson incident. This is coming from Mike Johnson of PW Insider. Oh, you don't say. This is where WWE draws the line, by the way, as far as affiliations go. And I mean, look, this is not deserved. I made a snide remark here to WWE, but no one in their right mind right now wants to be associated with this fucking nonsense, because ultimately the promotion fucked up for letting a mark, a casual, walking around backstage with a camera, hanging out with the talent. That's on the promotion's fault. First and foremost, there's a lot of negligence on that level where they're just like, yeah, sure, come on, come hang out. No big deal. What's the worst that can happen? And then having said Mark get involved in the match. Untrained, not a pro wrestler, has no idea how the business works. Yeah, you can go into the ring and beat up one of our guys. And you saw how it works. Like, talk to this guy and work it out. It didn't have any qualms with it. It was, we have to squash this as soon as possible. And not only did they leave a casual in, they let an IRL streamer in. Folks, they let an IRL streamer, which is immediately bad news because they're going to look for, these people can't do anything straight. It's always junk. Inevitably, this was doomed to fail. So we're talking a lot about Raja, of course, but Nox Pro allowed all of this to happen. Very poor judgment. Somehow thought this was a great idea. Again, I repeat it. Somehow they thought it was a great idea to allow an untrained non-wrestler to go attack another guy in a ring during a match for an angle that no one there knew about. No one in the audience knew about the can to the head. How was this supposed to make any sense for the audience to have this guy jump in from out of the audience and attack a dude? What the fuck is this? Like, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And then just earlier today, got some news here that California, this is off of Post Wrestling, California-based independent wrestler Syko Stu is making progress in his recovery after suffering an attack at an event over the weekend per a recent update from his brother. Stu, real name Stuart Smith, was attacked last weekend at an independent wrestling event by Raja Jackson, son of former UFC fighter Quinton Rampage Jackson. Raja, who was live streaming the event on his Kick social media page, rolled into the ring during a match, knocked out Stu with a slam, then scored a barrage of punches to the unconscious wrestler's head, only stopping once. A series of onlookers finally pulled him away. The disturbing incident stemmed from a confrontation Stu and Jackson had earlier in the evening before the show started. Stu struck Jackson in the head with a beer can backstage, then asked the live streamer if he was going to sell the move. After a tense pull apart, another talent informed Stu that Jackson was not a worker. In an attempt to settle their backstage incident, it was decided that Jackson would make a run-in during Stu's match. However, few expected that the confrontation would take such a violent turn. But why would you let a non-worker go and do an angle with one of your guys just so flippantly to? It's complete garbage. In an update provided on Sunday evening from Stu's brother, Andrew Smith, he noted that he was in stable condition but in critical care after the attack. A follow-up on Monday mentioned that the wrestler was once again conscious. Thank you for the outpouring of support, Smith wrote on Facebook. Stewart is conscious and does have some recollection of the events from that day, from the day of the attack. Thank you everyone for reaching out. It's been difficult to get back to everyone individually. And they have a GoFundMe running, trying to raise $7,000 for him. And why don't we take a little look-see? Brother's got 21K raised. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Oh, we got Chris Jericho up here with 2,500. That's fantastic stuff. Aria Davari, Cesar Bononi. That's awesome. Just a horrible, 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 deplorable event. And I hope to God this ends with these people, with Syko Stu, his family, with pressing charges on this psychopath, which is Raja Jackson. I don't give a fuck as to whether or not, oh, well, this will be terrible for his career or whatnot. I don't give a shit. And I think anyone who is defending this shit is a psychopath themselves. And I know Rob Van Dam, was out there with the take where, that Raja did what he had to do kind of thing. Well, he's a psychopath. Anyone who thinks that this was a reasonable response is completely out of their mind. It's inhuman. It's psychopathic. I don't know what else to say. There is no reason for this event to have gone the way it did, other than because the perpetrator from the get-go already had problems. Let's put it that way. We hope Syko Stu gets back on his feet. And here's what sucks. if he has multiple facial fractures and whatnot, he might not be able to wrestle ever again. It might be done for him. Teeth is one thing, but if his cheekbones have been caved in, if his nose is broken, and all whatever the fuck else, that kid is insane. Anywho, that's where I stand with Raja Jackson. Hope it was pretty clear, and this is an open and shut case. I don't see how anything can be. I don't think there's any way to squiggle out of this. And if Rampage is as disgusted about what his son did as we all did, he's not going to sit around and pull some strings and try to get his kid off the hook. Let him learn. That's disgusting. You know what's not disgusting? My chat. My chat, my live chat here. Y'all are degenerates, but the good kind. You're my degenerates, okay? All this can be really bad for wrestling. You can see brands not want to be associated with the wrestling because of this. WWE already took down the ID moniker from the promotion. And here's the thing, and I do want to be cynical, and I am going to be cynical here. WWE removed the ID logo, cut ties, because this article was talked about in the New York Times. This made national news. There were articles in USA Today and the New York Times. If this was just amongst us, per usual, right? Just the little dirt sheets, slinging shit at each other, right? And we could have all the uproar. I'm pretty sure they would have just shrugged it off. But this got national attention. So they don't want anything to do with it. Look, the thing here is that promotions need to fucking lock their doors. Don't have fucking casuals walking around with the talent backstage because the talent are prime. They're kayfabing. They're doing shit. I don't think Nox Pro is being shat on enough for the lack of responsibility that they showed in this circumstance. You know what I mean? They are absolutely responsible for doing this. If they had done what they typically do, which is just shut everything down, make sure no one comes backstage, none of this happens. But they're like, it's okay, it's cool. Hey, we'll have him do a run-in. And again, the run-in makes no sense because there's no one in the audience who will understand why this angle is happening. Let's say even if the angle had gone off cleanly, it's still a dumb decision because the people in the audience are going to be like, who's this guy? He's not a wrestler. Who is this guy? It's preposterous.